Have you no shame? Hopefully not, at least when it comes to your body and taking care of it with nutrition and exercise and all the things. Let's be real, there's a lot of reasons to have shame in a society full of people, but it rarely works for the things that it should work for or on the people that it should work on. So why should you have any? Honestly, it's not like you're going to gain anything by being ashamed of yourself. You really are not. If your behavior is hurting other people, then yeah, sure, allow yourself to be ashamed of that, change your behavior, all that kind of stuff. Behavioral change through shame, in my opinion, is not sustainable and not any way to do a fitness program. Unfortunately, it's all too common when it comes to fitness, health, uh, body image issues, and it is this toxic emotion, this shaming of people that has led to a lot of really strange pushback. Um, and in ways that, people who, where to begin? If you are a personal trainer and you think you are helping a client by making them feel ashamed of the state of their body, stop being a personal trainer right now, today. If I'm a little bit rambly on this, guys, I apologize. I just got out of a toxic whirlpool of YouTube videos of different personal trainers making fun of the body positivity movement and HAES and all that kind of stuff. And look, there are mixed reasons to like or dislike these movements, but let us not forget that the whole reason why they exist is because people feel like they are being bullied, okay? People are feeling like they are being bullied for where they are currently at. And while, yeah, there is scientific evidence that points to the fact that obesity is a health crisis, it is a major problem, and people who adopt healthier habits, healthier lifestyle will ultimately feel better. I think it's a really important part of the conversation right now to have these things out in the world and for people to see other people who look like them, in other words, big bodies, to see other big bodies exercising and engaging in healthy activities, whether or not that makes them skinny, right? Because here's the thing, I've been bigger, and when you're in that state and when you don't know anything about exercise, it feels like you can't change. It feels like, okay, this is who I am now. Set point theory feels like a real thing because our habits are baked into absolutely everything we do. Being ashamed of what you are eating or how you're moving or not moving is not helping anyone get better. It's not helping anyone feel better, neither mentally nor physically. When it comes to shame, be like a cat. Cats don't have shame. it's one of the reasons why I love having pet cats is because they remind me. Cats are very responsive to their environment. They are, if you set your environment up for success for your cat, they won't poop in the wrong places. They won't get overweight. They won't be battling with each other. If your cat is acting up or acting badly, it is in a response to how their environment is set up, and people are not so dissimilar. Now, dogs, you can train a dog, you can shame a dog, even though you shouldn't. Poor little puppies, they're so cute. But when it comes to people, set your environment up for success. Allow yourself to imagine yourself as a fit person before you actually get fit. I am so happy that there is like plus size athletic clothing available now. There was a time where it just wasn't, right? And just having that ability to perceive yourself in that arena of I am going to eat whole food and I am going to exercise and I am going to try these different diets without feeling like, oh, I might make a mistake or I might do the wrong thing. Everybody has to start somewhere and not be ashamed to make some mistakes, not feel guilty about, backsliding and having to start over again. It should be an enjoyable process. It should be an enjoyable journey. And although there is some very, very strange ideas that people who are not well educated in health, fitness, that kind of stuff, they're drawing conclusions about, you know, conspiracy theories having to do with, you know, the medical industry's out to get you, they're fat phobic, they're this and the other. There's reasons to be paranoid, don't get me wrong, you know, I mean, it's, we live in a capitalist society, but in general, you know, there's lots of actual good health reasons to get fit that don't cost you anything, that don't cost you any money, that you don't need to get a prescription for, that you don't need to, you know, spend any extra money on. And even when it comes to food, eating healthy doesn't need to be expensive. Are there a lot of predatory products out there? Yes. Are there tons and tons of weight loss gimmicks and predatory products out there? Yes, absolutely. Last night I was picking up a few groceries and I was bread comparison shopping, and I was looking for a bread or sandwich type bread option that was relatively low calorie, just so that it's easier for me to count my macros. And of course, I looked at all of the bread options that are advertised as low calorie, and they're like 2-3 times as much expensive. What I ended up walking out of the store with was $2 Wonder Bread hamburger rolls, because they were actually one of the lowest calorie options compared to all the nuts and grains, berries, healthy bread options available. So it's not like you can't do these things on a budget. You don't need to be bougie. You don't need to have, you know, crazy weird status. And that's another thing that absolutely drives me bonkers, like especially the, not all yogis, but sorry, yoga crowd, like the yoga crowd are, you know, a lot of them can be real snobby and real judgy, and feeling that judgmental stuff is, it's huge for people who are just getting into it. It's huge. When I first got into fitness, the first gym I visited that I went to, I was really nervous. I was overweight, and I was so relieved to see one other fat person in the class. I was like, oh, thank goodness, I can actually do this, you know, because there was representation. And even seeing that, I still was nervous about my first day. So I went home and I tried, you know, jumping rope in the yard and rolled my ankle because of course I was too heavy to be jumping rope, and then ended up waiting to go to the gym for the first day. And it's silly, right? I should have just gone in the first day and not been ashamed to go slower, to go at my own pace, to ease into it, even if there was no other big people there, just to get in there and do it. The social pressure we feel to, you know, and this is in part why it's become more of a feminist outcry, the HAES movement and the fat acceptance movement, all these kinds of things, is that there's particularly for, you know, women or people who identify as women, there's this idea of, you know, like, oh, be smaller, be smaller, be smaller. And one of the reasons why I actually really love getting strong and getting fit, it's because it's a growth mindset, right? It's like, oh, I want to get bigger. I want to get the muscles bigger. I want to take up space. I want to move things. I want to affect the world around me. And doing that in a physical way, taking up space, it's relevant. It's like the desire to take up space, to not shrink yourself, to not fade away. I totally get it. I understand it. You know, being a big, loud, obnoxious personality is one way to do that. And I would tell you, fitness definitely amplifies your personality, for better or for worse. People who are assholes before they got into fitness are going to be worse afterwards, and people who are kind before are going to be even more kind afterwards. It's just the nature of things. When you're in pain, when you're feeling sluggish and slow and weak, it dampens everything about you. It downplays your personality. When you're feeling good, everything shines, magnifies, and amps up. So yeah. Don't be ashamed of who you are, and don't be ashamed of what you look like, and don't be ashamed of making mistakes. Remember, it takes two to create shame, right? You know, it takes your internal like guilt and anxiety and your internal pressure that you're putting on yourself, and it takes somebody outside of you to validate that. So just don't take the validation. Be like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna look like a goofball, I'm gonna look terrible. Remember too, you know, if you're a very selfless person, you're going to have difficulty with this idea of not being shamed into, you know, like, don't watch me eat, don't watch me work out, that kind of thing. Remember that if you are in a space right now where you feel like you don't have a body that is designed for this kind of stuff, and you're out there doing it anyways, you're going to help and inspire somebody else. I wish I knew who that one other big gal at the class was that first time when I went into the gym. I would send her a thank you note today saying, hey, I don't know where you're at and what you're doing right now, but you literally changed my life. If I hadn't gotten started on that day, I may have never found my calling as a personal trainer to actually help other people get it going. So representation matters. Do I get upset over the misinformation attached to things like body positivity and fat positivity and the HAES movement? I would say that it does irritate me that there's misinformation out in the world in general, but it's not just attached to these movements. It's just attached to freaking everything, right? There's lots of bad information out there. That's the whole reason why I started a YouTube channel, is because I wanted to put out, information that was factual and helpful in a friendly, non-judgmental way. But I think that it does more good than harm for people to radically embrace where they're at. Now, do I think you should never change? Like, if you're an overweight person, you're into body positivity, you're into HAES, you're into fat positivity, you might be like, oh, well, I'm going to be fat for the rest of my life and there's nothing anyone can do about it. I have the right to remain fat. You do. And I mean, like, I am all about body autonomy in a very real way. If somebody wants to risk their life to get plastic surgery, and that's important to them, or they want to, risk their life to take steroids and that's important to them, or if they, anything having to do with your body is your choice. I am very pro-choice. I am very, and I know that, you have to address mental health issues and all these kinds of things so that you're not being self-destructive with it. I get that. But, within reason, I think everybody has the right to experiment within their own body, and that's fine. And you shouldn't be ashamed at any step of the journey as you're doing other fun stuff. But I think for me, the ultimate goal is to see everybody, really feel good. I want you to feel good about, and I think this is why a lot of well-meaning personal trainers come off as total jerks, is because they feel good and they assume that everybody else is going to feel the same way they do. And I would say that I do this to some degree myself. I will assume about you, dear listener, that you will feel better if you are stronger, if you have better cardio, and if you have less excess weight, so that you can jump and run and have fun and play in your body. I think that that is true. But I also remember what a security blanket the fat was for me at one point in my life, especially as somebody who identifies female, like I'm a cis white girl, and I've been skinny and I've been heavy and all points in between. And when I was younger, I would get a lot of unwanted sexual attention from men, and having the excess body fat at one point in my life insulated me from that. And I didn't feel like I was threatened as much in that way. But it can also garner negative attention for other reasons, right? So it's one of those things where it is a very personal decision. I'm never going to judge one of my clients if they don't want to lose weight. That's fine. That's what body positivity means to me. It's like, your vanity is valid. What do you want to do? I'm here to help. I've got the knowledge. I've got the know-how. I've dedicated my life to this. Let's do it. Let's do it. Don't be ashamed. Work out in your pajamas if you want to. Zhuzh it up. Work out in full makeup if you want to. Don't let anyone make you feel ashamed. Do like a cat do. My cats, I have 3 cats. They're all weirdos. They all play in very different ways. They all use their bodies in very different ways, but they never, no matter how goofy they look, no matter how much I laugh at them, no matter how much I point and stare, they're just not ashamed. Go figure. So yeah, this is probably one of the more rambly videos I've done. If you enjoyed this, go ahead and like, subscribe. Go ahead and let me know what your thoughts on body positivity and body shaming are. I want to know what your experience, if you're comfortable telling me your experience, pop that in the comments as well. Why do you want to have the body that you want to have? What's good about it? I want to know. Or what was the time where you felt embarrassed about doing something? Okay, I will talk to you next time. I'm Coach Melanie Black. If you want more coaching with me, you can go to www.thenerdgym.com. We are a group of fun, friendly nerds, not judgy nerds. And we do live online Zoom classes, group Zoom classes, nutrition plans, all that kind of stuff. So super fun, www.thenerdgym.com. And I will see you next time. Bye.